Yeah, hello everyone. So this video is regarding construction of TTT diagrams. Now to talk about TTT diagrams, we should know first of all what is the full form of TTT. So TTT means time, temperature and transformation. That means the change in the phases of the alloys or of a single metal, anything for that matter, whatever the transformation takes place with respect to time and temperature is what is represented in TTT diagrams. You don't have problems regarding construction of TTT diagrams, only the theoretical part. So how this TTT diagrams are drawn and what do they mean is what we should know. Okay. So firstly, how this TTT diagrams are constructed means it starts from here, the experiment. So we have a furnace for heating the steel specimen above 727 degrees Celsius. Now why this? See, TTT diagram particularly focuses on decomposition of austenite at particular temperature, okay, that is 727 degrees Celsius, indicating the different percentages of transformation. Why? Because in and around the 727 degrees Celsius, there are a lot of phases that are present. As I told you when I was explaining iron carbon diagram, 727 degrees Celsius is the most important temperature. Above and below 727, lot of phases are seen. Okay, that is why 727 is often referred as LCT. That means lower critical temperature. So why my focus is on austenite is because various phases are observed in and around this phase. Okay, that is why we concentrate on austenite. That is the reason why the specimens are also heated above 727 degrees Celsius. Okay, so how is this done is number of small specimens of steel are cut from the same bar and they are made ready according to the test conditions. Okay, like this, 4 pieces are from the same bar and you cut them into 4 same pieces and you place these samples of the specimens at the temperature above 727 degrees Celsius till the complete phase is austenite, and austenite should be stable also. Complete austenite is formed and it should be stable. So the temperature is beyond 727. Okay, then one of the specimen will be taken and it will be introduced in the molten salt bath which is maintained below 727 degrees Celsius. Okay, one of the specimen, not all the 4, one of the specimen is put it in the molten salt bath, okay, which is maintained below 727 degrees Celsius. Now if you retain this specimen for a longer period of time in the molten salt bath only, whatever the austenite was formed here, all that austenite will change to some other phase. So for a certain time duration you will place it and immediately you will place it in cold water tank. What happens, all the austenite that was formed when introduced here, all that austenite will go and martensite phase will be formed. Got it? Martensite phase. What I mean to say is, I am cooling the heated specimen 2 times. Once is I put it in the molten salt bath which is maintained below 727 degrees Celsius, say 700 degrees Celsius, and from there immediately I am cooling to cold water tank. When I do this cooling, various phases are seen. Okay, so similarly, just as how I did for the one of the specimen, similarly the test will be done, the same procedure for all these 3 specimens at various temperatures. Now say I maintained this at around 700 degrees Celsius, next I will put it at 600, the next at 650, the next at 500 degrees Celsius, something like that. Okay, so all the 3 specimens I will place at different cooling temperatures compared to the previous. And when I take the observations from all the 4 specimens, I will get something called as S curve. Also, it is called as isothermal transformational curve. Now, what does this give? This gives me the initial and the final time, the starting and the ending time of cooling, but at same temperature, isothermal reaction. Okay, so I will get this S curve which indicates the starting time and the ending time of whatever the phases has been taken place. Now, when such S curves are plotted for all the 4 specimens, considering the data from all the 4 specimens, when you draw the diagram, you will get something like this. Now, this is what I call as TTT diagram. This is the basic TTT diagram that you are seeing. Okay. So, to draw this TTT diagram, you need to get this isothermal transformation curve. What is isothermal transformation curve is, on the x-axis you have time, on the y-axis you have percentage of austenite being transformed to pearlite. What does that mean is, austenite when it is cooled, it will get transformed to pearlite. Further, when it is cooled, it will be bainite. Further, when cooled, it will be martensite. So, when the specimen was introduced to the molten salt bath, it was still in the austenitic condition. This was here in the austenite. You brought it here. You retained it here for a longer period of time. It will convert to the next stage, pearlite. Okay, but what I will do is, after cooling it for just few seconds of time, I immediately bring it down to cold water tank. So what happens, right from austenite, immediately the material is changed to martensite. Why I am doing is this, because to find the various phases, that's all. Okay, so this is what is the main thing, isothermal transformation curve. From that you will be plotting the TTT diagram. As you can see, this is the transformation time in seconds, that is on the x-axis, and on the y-axis you have the temperature, TTT. Depending on the time and the temperature, whatever the transformation will take place, that is what we call as TTT diagram. Now, if you carefully observe here, the left side, the leftmost side of the curve indicates the beginning of the transformation, and the another curve, the right side curve, represents the end of transformation. This region where you can see little bulge, that is called the nose or the knee of TTT diagram, because whatever the phase was seen here, that change will take place drastically from this region. Okay, that is as and when you are cooling it down, the specimen below austenite. Okay, and the region between the beginning and the end of transformation shows how the transformation is going on, the completion, the progress of the transformation. That is what the area between this area represents. What are all the transformation are taking place? See, this point, at this time this is the phase, at this time this is the phase, at this time this is the phase. You're getting the idea? Various transformation that is happening from austenite to pearlite is shown in this isothermal reaction. From there you are collecting the data and you are making this TTT diagram. So at this point 0, it is at this phase, at this time it is here. End of transformation, this is the end of transformation. See, this is the beginning of the transformation. From here the transformation will start. So that point comes on the left side, that is beginning of transformation. This is somewhere in between the transformation, and this represents the end of transformation. This is one S curve. Another S curve will give like this. So one by one, when you take the S curves and when you plot the points, this is how the final picture will come. That is what I mean to say. Okay. So from isothermal transformation curve or from the S curve, you are able to draw the TTT diagram, and this is how a TTT diagram looks. Okay, hope you understood. This is the basic introduction for the curve. All this austenite, pearlite, bainite, this all is observed at TTT diagrams for various steels. Now whatever this discussion I have spoken is regarding plain carbon steel. That is the specimen that is collected. It is referring to the plain carbon steel. Okay. Now here, according to this diagram, okay, initially when the specimen is heated, it is completely in the austenitic phase. Okay, 727 and above. And 727 is called as LCT, as I told you. Again, I am telling you, the x-axis has time and y-axis has temperature. At 727 degrees Celsius and above, it is complete austenite. Almost you can see the left side of this graph, it's completely austenite only. This part, not the region here, it's of course austenite is bit unstable, but this region almost refers to austenite. Okay. Then what happens is, say you have reduced the temperature little bit below 727. That is when you have introduced to molten salt bath for few seconds. What happens that austenite gets converted to pearlite. Further, when it is allowed to cool, say this is 550 degrees Celsius, from 727 to 550 degrees Celsius it became pearlite. Further, when it is cooled from 550 to say it to be around 240 degrees Celsius, okay, 300 degrees Celsius, from 550 to 300 degrees Celsius, it is converted its phase to bainite. Austenite when cooled, it became pearlite. Further, when pearlite is cooled, it became bainite. Further, below 300 degrees Celsius, when it is cooled down, it becomes a martensite phase. Okay, so martensite is one phase, bainite is one phase, pearlite is one phase, austenite is another phase. Okay, so these are the various phases which you particularly see in plain carbon steel. All these things you are seeing is in steel. Steel as in wherein your carbon percentage is within 2%. So all these discussions is regarding carbon percentage being less than 2%. Okay. So hope I made you clear how the specimens are constructed and what are this isothermal curve, why this is essential, and from there how TTT diagrams are constructed. Okay. If you didn't understand, please rewind the video. You will get it. Okay. Now the next topic is regarding the TTT diagrams for eutectoid, hypoeutectoid and hypereutectoid. It is again the similar explanation, so that you can refer to the notes. Thing is, mainly you should know how at all this TTT diagram came. So how this TTT diagram came is from isothermal transformation curve, where it represents the beginning and the end of transformation of the austenite. So collecting the data from various S curves like this from all the various specimens, collecting the data, that is collecting all those plot points, you will be getting this, and when you join all that points, that is when you get like this. Okay, a TTT diagram. Okay, so this is TTT diagram. Please, if you have not understood, rewind the video, go back and then listen to it again. You clearly understand. And also the explanation is also given in the slides. Please follow the slides also. Okay, so that's all about module 3. Hope you have understood, and I'll be meeting you in the next video with next module 4. Thank you.